Welcome to Anunnaki Oracle Priestess. I'm Teresa. Thank you so much for joining me here today. Um, Family, I gotta say, today is a little bit different. Those of you, like I said, my A1 day ones know I made an upload to this channel about 5 or 6 days ago. I've done a couple of live streams on the channel. This is an older channel for me, but it is one that I'm beginning to use for my tarot platform. I do have another channel, Modern Mystic Messages. Definitely invite you to go check that out if you have not already or are not subscribed there. But this channel, actually, I've been kind of silent on both of them for several days. And I was beating myself up about it a bit and wanting to come on and apologize. Now, I will thank you for my patience, but truthfully, when you find out like it's the reason why it was kind of necessary. So truthfully, I don't even know if apologizing is appropriate because I needed to take the downtime so that I can serve you better. Because of that, I actually ended up, this is later being published later in the day than I had intended to, because I wound up doing a part two to this video before the part one, because I was kind of nudged to do a personal reading for myself. And I mean, I pull cards for myself on doing the pre shuffles and things from time to time, but it's been a minute since I actually sat down and pulled a complete reading for myself because I've been busy with trying to get the other channel up past 1,000 subscribers and trying to get this one up and going and all of that. And I was feeling some type of way with myself because I haven't been uploading on either channel. This is going into the fifth day now. I think it was like Tuesday or Wednesday was the last time I did a live stream on either one. And I had been planning on coming up and doing, live streaming through the weekend and all. But my energy got completely zapped. Now, and the reason I'm being transparent about this is because I know there are several people in the collective that have been kind of in lockstep with me. It feels like our energy is kind of riding the same wave. The experiences that we're having are riding the same wave. We're at a similar point in our ascension cycles, all of that. And as I became more aware of how and why what was happening to me, I just understood that number one, I needed to do a reading for myself, and two, I needed to make it public because it probably will apply to more than just me. Um, so it is an epic reading. I mean, it is rather lengthy. However, if you have been familiar with my content and the readings that I've been doing on Modern Mystic Messages are resonating with you, and especially those of you who have personally let me know that the aspects of my personal story that I've shared resonate very strongly with you. I've got a couple of folks in there that are like, "Oh my goodness, we are literally spiritual besties. We're twinning because we're riding down the same spiritual river in the same boat, basically." Um, Definitely, you'll want to check that reading out. It is lengthy, but it is definitely worth it. I would encourage you to do so. The main reason I did is because, like I said, for the past 4 or 5 days, I hadn't been energetically feeling up to uploading, doing readings. I hadn't even been tending to like doing the background work that it takes to do a video, like checking out other videos. Quite honestly, I had kind of fallen into a period of mind noise, and I don't even want to call the things that I was watching complete mind rot because I don't watch mainstream television and things, but it was kind of escapism. um, and even at that, I had to realize, I think it was yesterday or day before, I realized that even the stuff that I was watching, as far as, there's nothing wrong with it per se. I've fallen into some of like the AI stories, particularly the little African folk tales and things like that. But some of the premises of the stories were a little karmic in nature. I mean, there's always a theme of the helpless damsel, and the only reason, well, I ain't gonna say the only reason, and a lot of them, the main reason she gets into those scenarios as long as she does, because she doesn't speak up for herself. She continues to allow herself to be a doormat very often because either her family or the church or somebody then told her that she just supposed to continue to endure until it literally almost cost her her life. All kinds of stuff, you know. Now, of course, those kind of stories always wind up finding some kind of a happy ending, but they take you through so much drama and toxicity before you get there. And unfortunately, that's kind of what was occupying my days for a few days. Didn't even think about how it happened or why, but I did know that something had to give, because the longer you stay away from your channel, number one, I was missing you guys terribly, but I also know the longer I stay away, the harder it is to get back in the saddle, so to speak. So last night or yesterday evening, I turned off everything. I wouldn't listen to meditation music, no, just letting videos play in the background, no audiobooks, no nothing. I went to sleep in complete silence. And well, my room doesn't get completely dark, but as dark as I could get it. And I woke up this morning, even though I didn't feel like it, and I slept later than I meant to. I knew, like I said, this is the day I got to do something. It's September 1st, which, by the way, happy first of the month, happy 1st of September for everyone. I didn't say that earlier. Um, but yeah, I made up my mind that I was going to move the needle today. So I got up, took a salt bath, including washing the hair, and I got some spiritual soaps and things. You know, I'm not going to get into super detail, but I had some folks create something for me. I do make my own formulations, but I actually had something that was created for me in light of the fact that I had some folks trying to do the oogly boogly on me. So I took that, you know, did everything I needed to do with that, came downstairs, engaged in some personal, some self care, in addition to the spiritual hygiene, some physical self care. Um, and as I was getting ready to do the readings, it occurred to me that I needed to do a personal reading. And I was going to do it as a private reading but the last several times that I pulled cards for myself, by the time I finished it, I was like, man, I wish I had been recording it. So I knew ahead of time that I'm going to go ahead and record it. If it turns out that I need to delete it beforehand, then I'll delete it. But I'd rather have it and be able to upload it than to do the whole reading and then wish I had and all of that. So I sat down and I'm cleansing the cards. And as I did, now, mind you, like I said, the past few days, I hadn't been watching any personal readings from any, I mean, not personal, but any other readers' readings. I hadn't been listening to my own content. I just been in a funk, like literally in a mental and spiritual funk. Um, but today, once I came downstairs, it was while I was doing my hair and doing my makeup and pre-cleansing the cards and all the rest of that, Spirit inspired me to listen to some readings from some of my favorite readers. Now there's a lot of amazing readers that I've been led to in the past several years, but over the past few weeks, especially the busier I get with my channel, I have not been watching as many. So I'm kind of behind on some of my really, really faves. I just had to pare them down to a handful. So today I went to my main, like the ones that I've been really led to recently, and just went back and listened to the readings from like the last couple of days from them. And I queued them up. And as I'm getting ready, you know, busy doing what I'm doing, I'm just listening to them. And when I tell you, now I know why I was led to them. It was, excuse me, right on time. And truthfully, I'm going to name them here so that if you listen to the reading that I did, if you find resonance with that reading that I did, if you want to go to their channel and listen to their readings, they may resonate as strongly with you as they did with me also. But it was incredible. I started out with Chiron Intuition. I love that brother. He is on it. And I mean, honestly, he's the type of reader. I've been a part of his collective for a few years now. Even when I was in like first getting into the notion, I didn't meet him early in my tarot journey, my personal one, but by the time I realized I was being kind of geared up to read for the collective that I was going to be reading tarot as well, I was led into his collective and I've been there ever since. He has spoken in such crazy detail on everything in my journey, from the karmics, like all four of them and they mama, down to their birth signs, what was going on. All it's like he literally was sitting in my head with a steno pad taking notes for a long time. He was like that. And then he started seeing, he's spoken in crazy detail about my divine counterpart coming in and the obstacles that we had to our union and all those kinds of things. So when I say he been like energetically somebody that's been way, 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 way up in my story. Yeah. All of these that I'm about to mention, same thing. I've had crazy resonant readings from them and synchronicities, tarot synchronicities between their readings and my own readings, the whole nine. But this morning I was led to Chiron Intuition. And it's interestingly enough, the readings that I was led, he does on average, he usually does 4 readings a day. I was led to 2 of his readings today, and it was the first time, literally, since the last time I uploaded. The last reading of his that resonated with me was 5 days ago, and I'm going to mention the title of that one too in case you want to check it out. Um, Again, beautiful reader. I have no issue with it, but I could tell from the titles nothing was jumping off the page at me. He's reading somebody else's story, and it wasn't, I just didn't have enough time to sit around and listen to all of them. But those 2 this morning I knew that I should listen to, and the moment I did I was like, okay, I get it. um and then I went back and looked at the one from 5 days ago, because I literally have not watched any of his readings since, like I said, the one 5 days ago, and then the 2 of the 4 that he uploaded this morning. Next after that in the queue was the Happy Cancer, and she did a reading yesterday and one the day before, and one 3 days ago. She did 2 readings 3 days ago, but only one of them really, I think, was for me. And I'll give you the titles of those. Then there was one reading from Lightworks Intuitive Healing, but the one, well, I'll get to those, and I'm gonna tell you the last one, because it really, that was the last ones that I listened to before I started recording my own. Really kind of pulled into full perspective for me what has been going on, and I did the right things about it, but it I was in that situation where I was being my own worst critic and blaming, like I said, not saying that I wanted to pass off accountability or blame, but sometimes we absorb too much accountability and self blame. We want to be an island, and it's I'm doing this and I'm doing that, and so a lot of it is our own space, true enough. But sometimes some of the stuff that happens to us have some cooperative components on the outside doing some things, and that's one of the things that a couple of these readers brought to my attention. Now, Chiron, the titles of the readings that he did this morning, one of them was called Your Season of Ascension. The past is the past, you can't change it, but the future is what you make it. That reading, yeah, like I said, if you resonate with me and you've been resonating with the readings I've done for you as part of the collective or part of my personal story, definitely you'll want to listen to that. The second one was they're alerted to you and say you have a bright future. They want to help you because you work hard and you're ambitious. And for those of us that have been getting messages about some kind of a helper or a benefactor or uh, a sponsor or anything like that coming in, you will definitely want to listen to that reading as well. And then, like I said, the last relevant reading he had done before that was 5 days ago. And that reading was titled The Relationship is Built to Last. Nothing is breaking this up. You both have decided to stay together. Now, that's true whether or not, if you're calling in someone you have not physically come into union with them yet, maybe they're at a distance and you were wondering, is this going to ever happen? Or you were having doubts or talking yourself off the ledge of it, so to speak, even though there's no real reason why you should let this person go, but you feeling that kind of push pull, wondering it's been so long now, maybe I should just give up on that. No, you want to listen to that reading. Now, the Happy Cancer, the one from 2 days, well, from 3 days ago, it was Cancer, I could cry. I love what I see for you. You will be loved by many this next chapter in your life. And then 2 days ago, she did one called Cancer, something unexpected is about to happen. This will help you in ways you couldn't imagine. And then the one that really got to me, though, yesterday or one day ago at this point, it says, Cancer, I couldn't understand why people kept coming for you. Now I know after seeing your future. Amazing. She said she had sat down to try to do this reading 3 times and kept getting interrupted and kept seeing interference even in the reading. And she was getting frustrated and getting annoyed. And she started the reading over and started the reading over. And then she got to a point where she was able to understand she was actually seeing outside attack, the oogly boogly, like for real, from people who, some of them don't even want you back romantically. They basically just see you heading in a new direction and they don't want to be left behind. If they can't ride your coattails and share in your blessing, then they're determined you ain't gonna have it either. Like plain and simple. She just called it out. And that's exactly what's happened to me to a large extent. Now, I do have a couple folks in my wake that would like to have a romantic future with me as well, but they really kind of sort of know they messed it up so bad that unless I had a frontal lobotomy, there's no way that they could get back in my life romantically. And they accepted that, but they literally asked to hang around in my energy in that weird friend zone. And then a couple of them are not wanting to take no for an answer. I've had to literally block them, and then they still turn around and call me from fake numbers and fake profiles. And well, I can't say call me because they don't even have my phone number no more, but they look me up in Messenger, create profiles to call me in Messenger and WhatsApp and stuff like that on. And I'm like, get out of here. Yeah. Now, Lightworks Intuitive Healing, she had a reading, I think it was from today, called Wow, an Overflow of Abundance is Coming to You. Literally. That reading, or it might have been yesterday, whatever. I'm just giving you the title so you can go and find them if you'd like to. That reading kind of made me teary a little bit because when she first started the reading, I was listening to it and I was thinking, my sister who transitioned years ago, but my sister Janet was coming to my mind really strongly as she began the reading. And I started to move away from it because she was calling out like a lot of artists and song titles and stuff. And I don't know, some of it was, like I said, a lot of those type readings don't usually resonate with me, but this one was really resonating with me. And then she got to a point in the reading where she was like, she said, called out Boy George, a song by Boy George. She was like, I'm such a huge Boy George fan. And I got emotionally full because my sister was a huge Boy George fan, as well as a George Michael fan. I mean, some others as well, Bee Gees. But when she said that, I kind of knew that was an ancestor message for me. And then finally, last but not least, we had the Soulful Revolution. She had a message for whoever needs this message. Embracing your power brings major healing shift of consciousness. And then her daily reading from today, invitation to step into your new identity. That reading right there brought it all home for me because Mary Jo, that's the lady that reads on that channel, Soulful Revolution. She gives a lot of the astrology of what's going on. She's always kind of up on that, but in a very concise, easy to follow way, even if you're not really into astrology. And I hadn't really been paying attention to what's going on, but in that, she reminded us there's a few things going on that I had missed and I needed to pay attention to. Number one, the new moon, the last new moon that we had was on August 23rd. That is literally the birthday of the one that was doing the ugly boogly on me, a Leo Virgo cusp. And I let myself get spiritually lax about well, I've done the cord cuttings, I do spiritual baths and all of that, but they were coming to mind a little bit, but I just kind of push it to the back because I don't really be thinking. But I have not talked to this person in 3 years, so I really wasn't paying no attention to it, or 2 years anyway. But wasn't trying to pay attention to it all the rest of that. But I do remember. I don't normally be paying that close of attention to what day of the week it is or the date on the calendar if I don't have nowhere to go. But I remember that day passing and remembering it was their birthday. But what I also needed to remember that I didn't remember is I know for a fact he into moon magic, okay? I know that for a fact. We have talked about writing petitions under the moon and doing this and that. He's in the tarot, all of that stuff. I know he into moon magic. So when whatever petition he set on the 23rd, it literally I started feeling more and more weighed down and couldn't figure out where it was coming from until I get like 4 or 5 days out from that and I'm just crashed, just hit the wall. Not to mention the fact that right now, and I hadn't even thought about that, right now Saturn is in Pisces, is heading into Aquarius early next year, I think in January. But for me, because of my age, I'm in my second Saturn return. Most people will only experience two Saturn returns in their lifetime. One somewhere between the age of like 26, 27, 28, unless they're born like right on the, even if they're born right on the cusp of a return, they'll be literally like 29 or 30 before they experience the next one. But like I say, any time somewhere between 26 and 30ish or so, you'll experience a Saturn return. And then somewhere between the age of around 56 to 60, 59, 61, or somewhere in there, you'll experience your second return. I'm in my second return, and Saturn is currently in Pisces. On the 7th of this month, 6 days from now, we're going to have a full moon in Pisces, and it will be an eclipse. That is incredibly powerful energy. I'm like, oh my God, no wonder I've been feeling so out of it, just not being as aware of it as I need to. Now, the next new moon, thankfully, is going to be in Virgo on the 22nd, and I'm or 21st, 22nd, depending on where you are in the world. I'm so looking forward to that because I'm a Virgo rising. So I trust me, I'll be setting some intentions of my own with that. But yeah. Um, and she was talking about how like what were we doing around March of 2023 when Saturn first moved into Pisces. She was saying that this is basically since March 23 till now, it's kind of the in between time, and it's a time to start moving into mission and purpose, which of course I've been feeling that ramp up. We've all been moving, trying to figure out why it ain't quite happening yet, but there's a little bit of a delay there. But it made perfect sense to me now how and why, even though I do, like I said, I do spiritual baths, but I had kind of sort of laid off and hadn't been as intense. I do my grounding, but because of the mosquitoes and stuff, I kind of sort of hadn't been going out there as much as I had. I do have a grounding mat on my, or a grounding mat that I had plugged into the bed, but I took it off to wash it and forgot to put it back on the bed. So it's like my energy is screwed up and I didn't even realize it. I really didn't realize it. So for that, I do apologize, but I am on top of it now. I'm getting back on track. I do have a reading out. Like I said, the one is it'll be a part two to this reading, and then later on, I'm not sure if I have time to do it tonight before I go live for Modern Mystic Messages, but if not, I'll do it sometime between the night and in the morning. I am going to do a love reading because the subject of love and divine counterparts, it didn't weigh predominantly in that other reading, but I did see it especially towards the end, and I've been promising you guys a love reading, so I will pull some cards on that as well. Tomorrow, I will be going live in the morning. Late morning. I'll try to be on around 10 Eastern time tomorrow morning so we can pull some tarot in the live stream, and then I'll get back on track with this channel and with Modern Mystic Messages. And I do invite you to go over there in the evenings on Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday evenings around between 7 and 8 p.m. I'm going to try to start doing it right at 7 to give us a little more time in the live stream. But we go live on that channel on Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday evenings for a spiritual discussion. I won't be pulling tarot on that channel anymore, not in the live stream, but we do discuss either things that I've been talking about in recent uploads that I've done, books that we read. Right now, we're in the book of Enoch. After that, we'll be going back into the 12th planet with Zechariah Sitchin, and whatever apocryphal texts come to mind as I'm led to them, we'll be discussing those, plus anything else anyone wants to. Like I said, that one is truly a live forum where people can ask questions in the live chat, and we just kind of chop it up that way. So definitely consider subscribing over at Modern Mystic Messages if you haven't already, and consider joining us on Sunday, Tuesday, or Thursday evening for those live streams. I'll be live streaming here on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday mornings around 10 a.m., 10 to 11 a.m., or actually I'm committing for a minimum of a 3-hour window as long as folks show up. And for the first few that I do, I will be doing questions for free or mini readings for free. After that, it'll be for a donation or doing collective readings, depending on how that goes. But I will be live streaming for tarot on this channel Mondays, Wednesdays, and Friday mornings. On Saturday, it's still up in the air. I might do a flip flop and do an early morning or an earlier morning spiritual discussion on Modern Mystic Messages live stream, and then do a late night uh, tarot session on Saturday evenings on the channel. But like I said, that's still kind of up in the air. But in any event, I do thank you so much for joining me. Definitely go check out part 2, where I've done the reading that kind of accompanies this. I did want to put a bit of an explanation as to why I was doing that reading before I did it, but I also wanted to split it off for those who aren't interested in the tarot or didn't have time for a longer reading. If they don't care to look into it, do understand, like I said, if you've been resonating with me in the messages that you've been receiving, I highly encourage you to listen to it. If you're not sure, obviously you can go in and see how it feels for you, but do understand it is primarily a personal spread for myself that I did, that Spirit encouraged me to make it public for those who might stumble upon it and be resonating with those messages as well. But of course, like with any tarot reading, take what resonates and leave the rest for someone else. I love you so much, family. Thank you again for spending time with me. Thank you for hanging in here with me while I try to get myself together and get this channel rocking. And until next time, peace and blessings to you. I love you very, very much. Namaste.